Okay, so this definitions aren't terribly difficult unless you have never been exposed to them. So what do you think the first one is? Money employers deduct from wages. Yes.
Uh, federal withholding.
Yes, federal withholding. Why is that?
Well, I just thought of it like, cause it's kind of like doing the, and then I saw like the gross pay,
Hmm.
and like kind of means like kind of like minimum.
Minimum wage?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's not exactly why it is right, but a federal withholding is basically the money that comes out of your paycheck before it gets to you. So whenever you work, you get paid a certain amount of money. You work for a particular amount of money, and that's called the gross pay. So if somebody gets paid $20 an hour and you work for 5 hours that day, your gross pay will be $100, right? That's your gross, the total pay. Well, before you get any of that money, it goes through your payroll, whoever does your payroll, and they take out the federal money. It's taxes on the money that you earned. We all do that. That's how we pay for highways, for street roads, for street lights, for all these things that are like goods for everyone that you can't say, well, I own the highway, I own this because I'm paying for it, but you literally, well, not you, but those who pay taxes literally are paying for having clean roads, having trees on the streets, and having good lighting and all that stuff. It gets paid somehow, and it's through taxes. Yes.
Uh, what does it mean when it says? Because there's a sign that says gross car or something. I seen a sign and I just started laughing because I was like,
I'm not sure.
I didn't understand. I just seen gross
Okay.
car. I was like, what?
But on this one, the gross income is basically means everything you earned, and then well everything you worked for basically. And what about taxes due on April 15th each year? Yes. Income taxes. Yes. Every year you have to report your income taxes. That means that if you earn $20,000 last year and you were supposed to pay a particular amount of tax from that amount, if you did pay, then you're good. If you pay too much on taxes, they'll give you the extra ones that you pay. If you pay too little, you have to pay whatever you have left. So that would be income tax. What about percent of total cost of goods? Yes. Yeah, sales tax. Goods sold is basically referring to anything you buy at the stores. Those are goods, right? And the percentage of that, then that's the tax. We have a 8.25 tax rate, and in some other cities or states, they have different. It varies wherever you go. Income tax that is taxed. Income tax. Income that is yeah, taxable income. Uh, for example, if you made $20,000 and um, you are a single person, you have a particular rate. So if you made between this amount and that amount, you were supposed to pay this much in taxes. That's called the taxable income. And that's going to determine whether you owe money to the government or they owe you money because you took so much. Um, so another thing is basically interest and simple interest. So interest is basically the cost of borrowing money. For example, let's say that Eric needs money. He's hungry and he wants to go to, let's say, Peter Pepper Pizza. But he has no money and he's really hungry and he wants to go. He's just say he's poor, he's broke. Uh, so he asked Pedro if he has any money, and Pedro has $5. Pedro's a very smart guy, so he goes, "I have $5, but you got to pay me back with $1 interest per day." So the next day, Eric has to pay him $5 plus the $1 of interest. Now he said per day. So if Eric doesn't pay the next day, then the following day he's going to owe him $5 plus what?
$2.
$2 of interest, right? Yes.
What if like Eric like kind of like took the time and gave him the money before? It was technically a day.
What do you mean?
Okay, so let's say it was like 3 o'clock and Eric gives, and he said per day. So technically it's not the whole day. So what if Eric gives him the $5 for three?
Well, I guess that could work, but again, whenever you say Monday or Tuesday, we're talking about calendar days. It's Monday already. It's a Tuesday already. There you go. That's an easy answer. But it's kind of like also like hotel rooms are different. You pay per day, but some hotels let you stay until 11, some until 12. So, all right. So basically, the interest will be that whatever the cost of you lending him money or him borrowing from you. The cost of lending and borrowing money. That's what interest is. I don't know if you ever looked at your receipts whenever your parents go grocery shopping or just buying clothes. Uh, it shows you a list of everything you bought, and then shows you a subtotal. The subtotal is the amount before they apply taxes to it. Then he has tax, and then he has at the end the total. The total is what you're paying after they calculate the taxes. So if you go to Walmart, if you look at the little machine, and when the cashier is like scanning each one of the items, it shows you the price of each item, and at the bottom the subtotal so far. And it keeps increasing, increasing, and at the end, you see that it has a subtotal, and this person clicks a button, and he goes up. And like most people are like, well, why did he go up? Well, they have to apply a tax, right? So you get the whole total of every item that you bought, and then you get a tax for all of them, and then you pay your total. So that will be well, each item has a tax. Sometimes, and depending on where you go, vegetables don't have taxes. Like whenever I go to farmers market, uh, I don't get taxed because it's all vegetables or locally grown stuff. Yeah, but that's like 5 cents. That's not big of a difference, but it does make a difference in there. All right, so we this is just sales tax. Have we done sales tax before? Yes. What do we use to solve it? Oh my goodness. Did I not tell you that's probably one of the best tools you could have learned this year? We've used it all year long, and we've done so many different things the entire year. I'm telling you, if you know how to use it, this is gold because you can use it anywhere, almost anywhere. So for sales tax, again, look how they broke it down. It's the same thing, but they broke down the items by piece. So if we were using P over W, we would have to calculate the subtotal, right? And then apply the 7.5%, and that will give us this, which is the total, no, the total in taxes, and you just add back to the total, right? That's it. And then you get the total amount that you're paying. Here, they're going by piece. They're showing you basically how the computers work at the store. That you put one item, like for this one, the black ice Susan, and then the unit price, which is 6.25, you're buying two, so it'll be 12.50 subtotal. You apply a tax of 94 cents, and now your new total is 12.44. So you're breaking it down, but it's exactly the same thing. You can do a P over W for each of those actually, and that's it. That's really part of your homework. So I will allow you to do, not allow you, I will have you do this one, your turn number one, real quick. Read it carefully and then use P over W to figure out the total cost. All right, here we go. If you took too much making it pretty, you're doing the wrong thing. This is math, not art. So you should have focused on the numbers. All you have to do was add all of them. So you have $49.99 for one thing, and then two of the other ones, right? So when you add them, you get $75.97. Then you do your P over W with that for 7.5%, and you end up with $5.70 for your tax. Add that to the price that you started with, and you get $81.67. That was not difficult at all. It just takes multiple steps. I will guarantee you that you will see this on the test. This is your classwork. Huh? The test. No, you have a STAR test next week. We're not gonna take on, guys. I'm not gonna give you a 6 week test and then you have the STAR. That makes no sense. You already have enough assignments, and that's why I'm giving you all this homework. All right, so we got that answer. All right, for this one, withholding, it's basically again what the government takes or something somebody takes before it gets to you. So in this situation, the federal withholding is the money that the federal government takes before they pay you. Um, Another thing that is similar to it, it sounds crazy, but would be like child support. If people pay child support before the person sees their paycheck, they already took that money out. That's the money is withheld. That's a good example, and I'm surprised you guys at your age in every class knows what child support is.
Why wouldn't
It seems very common here. Yes,
you?
I'm just saying. Um, so for this one, we also introduced the gross pay, which I already explained. We have gross pay and net pay. So let me explain how mine usually works.
It's kind of like let's just say like my dad, he works right, and then how he gets his paycheck like at the end of the week. So like yeah, he takes like $100 and then puts it in child support.
Yes, I think it's automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like some people don't have to pay child support. Like
but if you live together, you don't.
he left like when I was like around.
Say that again.
No, that's only if
No, no, he didn't say child support, taxes. Yes, all Americans have to pay taxes. That is a good question because at the beginning you don't know it, especially if you're not paying anything. Your parents pay for everything. You just think you're just paying. But yes, all Americans pay taxes, whether you are paying through employment or paying sales taxes. Yes, girl, ahead. It's like banging it.
like if you like okay,
I'm waiting on your question. No, they have an agreement. Again, I cannot go on that because that was just an example. So, of what a withholding is, I want you to know what the word withholding is. That means they keep it before it gets to you. Hang on. This is an example of how basically a paycheck will look like. So every time that I get my paycheck, when I look at my paycheck, my statement, I mean, I look at the middle part just to make sure they're paying me my whatever they're supposed to pay me. But I always go to the very bottom. At the very bottom is the net pay. The net pay is actually what's going to be deposited to my bank account. That's how much money I'm actually getting paid. Not what I worked for, but what I'm actually getting paid.
can you show us?
So I'm using this as an example. Let's say that I'm a teacher at Highland Park and I make more money, a lot more money. And my gross pay will be $5,000 a month. That would be lovely, but it's nowhere near that. So let's say that I'm a teacher there and I'm supposed to be making $5,000. In between, so in your paycheck at the very top is your gross pay, and then you have in the middle all these deductions. Everything that's being taken out of your paycheck before you get to the third step, which is the net. So you get the federal taxes, you get the Social Security tax, the Medicare tax, and if you have retirement, the retirement comes out, the insurance comes out, dental insurance comes out. All these things come out before it gets to you. So when I look at my paycheck at the bottom, I'm almost crying because over $1,000 already came out of it. So it's basically all the money that goes out that gets deducted before your net pay. I want you to understand the word net. Net pay is the amount of money that you're going to take home with you after you worked. Gross pay is what you actually worked for.
So technically, you're just saying you lost the so the net.
I didn't lose it because all of these are benefits one way or another. Gross pay before any deductions. Yes. I'm sorry?
I said okay. I said the net pay is where really whenever that's all you have left after all your taxes.
Yes. Exactly. The net pay is whatever you have left after all the taxes will be taken out.
But isn't like at the end of the year where they give you your taxes and stuff?
That's different. We're going to talk about that in a minute. Actually, it'll be the next subject. But I want you to understand this first. Net pay, gross pay, again, it looks like that. This person makes monthly, wages means how much you're making, right? So that's how much this person makes a month.
Is that good?
No. And then you have all these taxes right here and whatever else, and that comes out. You add all those up and take it away from the gross pay, and you end up with a net pay of that much money. I know. I'm sorry?
That's a lot. You can. Okay, so what if you like you have more tips? You still have to pay taxes.
Well, what do you buy something?
Yeah.
Even if you're homeless, whenever you go and buy something from the store, they don't say, "Oh, you don't pay sales taxes. You're homeless."
Because you're special.
No, of course you have to pay taxes.
You have to keep like all the receipts or something.
For what?
Okay, so how do you know? How do people know how much they spend? Like,
The sales taxes take you pay sales tax as soon as you pay.
okay, okay.
So, example, you want to go to buy hot Cheetos, and the price is $1, right?
Yeah.
You go to the counter. I guarantee you that you're not paying $1. You're paying 107 or yeah,
So you can't buy it unless
108, 107, depending on where you go. My point is that whenever you pay that $1.07, you're already paying sales taxes. Go ahead.
My question is like, okay, so how do people calculate what we had bought? Oh,
It tells you at the bottom of the receipt.
no. Okay. So when you go doing your income taxes.
No, 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 that's different. Hang on. Oh, that's what I see. Your income tax are separate from your sales tax. Completely. Completely. I understand the confusion. Yes. The sales tax, you just did that. Here's why. You do not keep your receipts for income tax, for sales tax. No one does unless you're going to return something. But I'm just saying that has nothing to do with your tax return.
Exactly. That's what I was talking about.
Then I just explained it. You do not include your sales. What you buy when you go eat or when you buy Cheetos has nothing to do with your income tax return.
Oh my god.
Work. Your income tax, that's a good question actually. Your income tax, whatever you get back, comes from what you worked.
So
That's it.
do you have to save like all your checks or something?
It's already at the end of the year, they give you a document that shows how much you earned that year.
Oh wow. Are you dead?
Okay, so page 106 at the bottom, you do that on your own. Hey, page 106 at the bottom, you do that on your own. You can use that example to figure it out, but it's really easy. We just fixed it. The next part is taxable income, which comes back to her question. How do you figure it out? Well, tells you right here in a pretty nice little thing.
A wind house it could be 16,000 and five.
What?
I did the bottom.
It could be all kinds of numbers. It depends on what you were hoping.
I'll be a millionaire.
All right, so for this one, after deduction, Jonah has a taxable income of $26,000. That's the whole year. He paid a total of $4,053 in federal withholding. Find the tax due on Jonah's income, then tell whether he will have to pay an additional amount or get a refund. This is what Faith's question comes about. Now we're talking about the total amount that this person earned the entire year. And he already paid this because they took it out of his paycheck every single time, right? So you're going to look at that bracket and see where it lands. So this bracket tells you right here that if you made between this number and this number, you should have paid this much money. This guy lands right here between these two numbers. That means he should have paid this much money in taxes. Sometimes, a lot of times, you pay more than what you were supposed to pay in taxes. And that's when you get income tax return. But when you pay less than you were supposed to pay in taxes, like people who work in the service industry, like waiters, bartenders, anybody who pays for gets tips, or independent contractors that they don't pay any taxes throughout the whole year, at the end of the year, when they report their taxes, they pay back because taxes were never taken out during the whole year. So for this one, this guy was supposed to owe $3,524 in taxes, but he paid, of course. Well, actually, I believe it. No. No, I believe in Matthew's waste of education. He shows in his work.
I'm recording.
Of course. Thank you for ruining a particular time.
Oh, I'm sorry. 20 seconds.
All right. Did you mess this one up too? All right. It won't work. Anyway. Hey. It keeps blinking. He won't do it that way. Yes, sir. Okay, now that we're back from fiasco, so notice that this person actually paid more money in taxes throughout the year than, well, it doesn't work anymore, than what he should have. Does this work? It doesn't. Dang it, Faith. Okay, anyway, so you subtract whatever he paid throughout the year by the amount that he was supposed to pay, and then that means that he paid more than he owed. That's when you get money back. That's when you get it. People go like, "Oh, I'm getting my income tax return." Well, sometimes because they have kids and that increases. Yeah, go ahead. Doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't work. All right. Anyway, you're going to do this part for homework, the next page, and then the bottom part too. Yes. Silence. She's right. Hey, guys, go ahead. Yeah, so here's the thing about lawyers are almost like, depending on where you work, they're like independent contractors, like even doctors too. So people who work for themselves, basically like, well, many people do that. They're called independent contractors, and they go to one, like architects, they go to one building and say, well, I'm going to build this building, and then 3 years they're done. They only work for 3 years. They don't belong to the company. They don't belong to the building. They work for themselves. At the end of each year, they have to pay taxes on what they earned that year. That's mandatory. Yes. Do the whole page except for the essential question. We're going to work on that in class. Yes. I'm going to double your homework actually because I have 4 minutes and you already packed, and I'm not joking about that one. Congratulations. Okay. For those of you, I think it's only for second and seventh period. Second period, you owe me 20 problems from IXL.com on dot plots. Seventh, you owe me 10 of those. Same thing. Congratulations.